You may not know the Qin dynasty, but certainly you know the Great Wall and Terracotta Army. Great Wall was formerly built in Qin dynasty, which was the first imperial Chinese dynasty. The Terracotta Army is a collection of terracotta sculptures depicting the armies of Qin Shi Huang, the first ruler of Qin dynasty, the first emperor of China. Today we are going to talk about the turning point of Qin dynasty gained its advantage through a battle that ended as the most gruesome war crimes in ancient history. The Battle of Changping, which was fought in 260 BCE, between the states of Qin and Zhao, stands as one of the most pivotal and brutal military conflicts in ancient Chinese history. It was not merely a clash between two armies, but a decisive confrontation that shaped the eventual unification of China under the Qin dynasty. Often cited for its unprecedented scale, ruthless tactics, and catastrophic loss of life, especially the mass execution of over 400,000 Zhao soldiers, the battle marked a shift in the balance of power during the Warring States period, for 75 to 221 BC. This video will explore the causes, course, and consequences of the Battle of Changping, as well as the military strategies employed by both sides. In the mid-3rd century BCE, the Warring States period was characterized by intense rivalry among 7 major states: Qin, Chu, Qi, Yan, Han, Zhao, and Wei. The central Zhou royal authority had significantly weakened, allowing regional warlords to expand their influence through both diplomacy and warfare. By the mid-3rd century BCE, Qin, located in the western part of China, had emerged as the most powerful and reform-driven state. Under the leadership of legalist chancellors like Shang, Qin had undergone significant military, administrative, and agricultural reforms. These reforms gave Qin a highly disciplined army and a strong economy capable of supporting long-term military campaigns. Zhao, in contrast, though militarily formidable, lacked the internal cohesion and resources of Qin. Zhao was considered a major rival due to its strategically located territory, which acted as a buffer between Qin and the eastern states. The direct trigger of the battle was a territorial dispute over the area of Shanxi, which had previously belonged to the state of Han. In a desperate attempt to preserve its sovereignty, Han offered Shandong to Zhao instead of surrendering it to Qin. Zhao accepted the offer, leading to the inevitable military confrontation with Qin. The battle began in 262 BCE. Zhao responded by dispatching its best general, Lian Po. Unlike the militaries of other states, which were often composed of feudal levies liable for irregular service, Qin maintained a full-time professional army. Furthermore, Qin's military structure was highly meritocratic. Advancement depended on ability, not social standing. This professionalism and meritocracy enabled Qin to adopt sophisticated military techniques. For instance, its infantry was trained in coordinated maneuvers, utilizing flexible and adaptable formations. In contrast, Zhao's army, typical of many contemporary Chinese forces, relied on chariot-heavy cavalry for shock troops, a tactic influenced by nomadic Central Asian models. While effective, this approach left Zhao vulnerable to insurrection. Lian Po built strong fortifications and avoided direct confrontation, understanding that Qin's strength lay in open field battle. He adopted a strategy of attrition, hoping to wear down Qin over time. For 2 years, the conflict stagnated. Qin, under the command of Wang He, was unable to make significant gains due to Zhao's robust fortifications. This led to political impatience in both states, especially Zhao, where internal court politics and misinformation played a decisive role. Qin, aware of Zhao's political instability, orchestrated a psychological warfare campaign. Through spies and fake defectors, Qin spread rumors in Zhao's court that Lian Po was old and cowardly, no longer fit for command. Under political pressure, Zhao replaced Lian Po with Zhao Kuo, the son of a famed general, but a man known more for his knowledge of military theory than for practical battlefield experience. At this point, Qin replaced its own general with the cunning and ruthless Bai Qi, one of the greatest generals in Chinese history. Bai Qi exploited Zhao Kuo's aggressiveness, using feigned retreats, ambush tactics, and a divide-and-conquer strategy. He lured Zhao's main force into a trap. The Qin army split Zhao's army and encircled it near Changping, cutting off supply lines and reinforcements. For over 40 days, Zhao's army was besieged without food or water. Morale plummeted, disease and starvation spread, and desertions increased. Eventually, Zhao Kuo attempted a breakout but was killed in the effort. With their leader dead and no supplies, Zhao's soldiers surrendered. After the surrender, Bai Qi faced the dilemma of what to do with over 400,000 prisoners of war. Concerned that releasing them would reignite resistance and unwilling to feed them, he ordered their systematic execution, sparing only a small number of young boys to send back as psychological warfare. This act was not merely a military decision but a calculated political message, an early form of total war designed to demoralize and weaken Zhao permanently. The psychological impact on Zhao was devastating, leading to national mourning and the erosion of morale across all eastern states. But the state of Zhao did not immediately surrender, but continued to resist Qin for more than 10 years. Before ultimately conquering Zhao, Qin carried out a prolonged campaign of encroachment and aggression against the state. Eventually, in the context of Qin's unification wars against the Six States, Zhao's capital Handan was captured by Qin in 228 BCE. King Qian of Zhao surrendered, while Prince Jai of Zhao fled to Dai Commandery and declared himself king. However, he too was eventually defeated by Qin, marking the complete destruction of the state of Zhao. This victory allowed Qin to solidify its dominance over northern China and set the stage for its eventual unification of the country in 221 BCE. Military analysis. Leadership. Qin's generals, particularly Bai Qi, displayed a high level of military sophistication. They understood the value of deception and psychological warfare, as seen in their manipulation of Zhao's court to remove Lian Po from command. Their ability to exploit enemy weaknesses and launch surprise attacks was a key factor in their victories. Logistics. Unlike many of their contemporaries, Qin had a well-organized system of logistics and supply. This enabled them to keep their armies in the field for extended periods and fight battles far from their home base. Ruthlessness. Qin was willing to employ brutal tactics and make ruthless decisions, such as the execution of 400,000 Zhao soldiers by burying them alive after the Battle of Changping. This demonstrated their willingness to go to extreme lengths to achieve their military objectives. Zhao's weaknesses. Poor leadership. Transition. The removal of the experienced General Lian Po and his replacement with the inexperienced Zhao Kuo was a critical mistake. This was driven by political considerations rather than military necessity. Strategic miscalculation. Zhao Kuo's decision to pursue aggressive military action instead of focusing on defense was a mistake. He underestimated the strength and cunning of the Qin army and overestimated his own abilities. Overconfidence in numbers. Despite fielding a larger army, Zhao lacked the cohesion and adaptability of Qin's troops. They failed to effectively utilize their numerical superiority and were ultimately defeated. In addition to these internal factors, Zhao also faced external challenges. One of these was the diplomatic isolation of the warring states period. Although Zhao was diplomatically active, it failed to secure alliances that could have bolstered its defenses against Qin. Additionally, Zhao's geographic location, while offering some natural barriers, was also a liability. The mountainous terrain, while suitable for defensive warfare, was not conducive to long-term campaigns. Significance and legacy. The Battle of Changping stands out for several reasons. The story of the Battle of Changping continues to resonate because it encapsulates the essence of the Warring States period, an era of intense conflict and rapid change in ancient China. It was a time when states ruthlessly competed for supremacy and where military innovation and ruthlessness often overshadowed diplomatic solutions. The battle's impact transcended the immediate military outcome. It set in motion a chain of events that reshaped the political landscape of China, paving the way for the imperial era. It also offers a glimpse into the evolution of warfare, highlighting the transition from traditional battle tactics to more comprehensive strategies that encompassed psychology, logistics, and the willingness to inflict massive casualties. In conclusion, the Battle of Changping remains a seminal event in ancient Chinese history. It is a testament to the ambition, ruthlessness, and military genius of the Qin, and it underscores the tragic cost of war. As we reflect on this historic conflict, it serves as a reminder of the complexities of warfare and the enduring impact of military decisions on the course of history. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support keeps the channel alive and thriving.